all of Islam is built upon belief and submission. Belief and submission. Because all of Islam is information about Allah and the unseen and the messengers and so on and so forth, and rulings. Information and rulings. Everything in the religion is information and rulings. You respond to the information what Allah has informed us of and what the Prophet ﷺ informed us of by belief. Belief is knowledge, certainty, and acceptance, qabul. And compliance, which is the second asl of the two core fundamentals of faith, is al-mahabba, al-inqiyad, al-sidq, al-ikhlas. These concepts are all connected to each other. To sincerely, truthfully, lovingly comply with the commandments of Allah and the commandments of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so this compliance is what is called a loving compliance. That you lovingly comply with Allah and lovingly comply with the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So from the conditions of the Shahadatain, as we know, is love of the Shahada and La ilaha illallah, and love of the Shahada anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Love of Tawheed and love of Sunnah. And love of the people of Tawheed and love of the people of Sunnah. It's a prerequisite. To the point that if a person loves the person of shirk for their shirk, or loves a person of innovation for their innovation, or even just approves of their innovation, فَالرِّضَى بِالشَّيْءِ حُكْمُهُ حُكْمُهُ, then loving a thing takes a ruling of that thing. Loving the thing takes a ruling of that thing. The person who loves innovation, فَهُوَ فِي نَفْسِهِ عَلَى بِدْعَةٍ, then he himself is upon innovation. Person who loves kufr, if you heard somebody say that they love or they approve of kufr, then you will say this person without a doubt, if you approve of something, what did the Prophet ﷺ say about evil? Whoever of you sees evil, then what? Change it with your hand. If not, you don't have the ability, then with your tongue. If you don't have the ability, then with your heart. Make inkar with your heart. Hate it with your heart. وَلَيْسَ وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ مَاذَا? And there's beyond that, there is not what? There is no faith. There's not a mustard seed of faith beyond that. Meaning, because a person who doesn't hate what Allah hates and is not afraid of the punishment of Allah and does not hope for the reward of Allah or hope for the opportunity for forgiveness, then this person, as Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala says in his Risala about Mahabba, Ibn Taymiyyah wrote a whole book, and that book is translated. A treatise about love. A treatise about love, the concept of love, loving Allah and loving the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam and loving what Allah loves. And he said at the end, at the very last paragraph of that book, he said that the reason why sin and disobedience does not remove the Muslim from Islam is because when a Muslim does sin or disobedience, then connected to that sin and disobedience, then they hate what they have done. They dislike what they have done. And they fear the punishment of Allah to some degree or another, large or small. And they hope for forgiveness and for al-istidrak, at-tadaruk, ala ma fat. And they want to make up for lost time. They want to fix what they have done. And even the sinful Muslim, he says, Sofa atub, I'm going to repent one day. I'm enjoying what I'm doing right now. I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't want to die in this condition. I'm going to repent before I die. Even the most wicked of Muslims, they feel bad about what they're doing, for the most part. He said, as for the person who isn't like that, they have no degree of dislike for what they have done. And they don't fear the punishment of Allah as it relates to their sin and disobedience. They don't hope for the forgiveness of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. You just heard three concepts, which are love, hope, and fear. It's the cornerstones of ibadah. All of ibadah is love, hope, and fear. He said, فَهَذَا لَيْسَ بِمُسْلِمٍ بِحَالٍ بَلْ هُوَ إِمَّا كَافِرٌ أَوْ مُنَافِقٌ. He said, this person isn't a Muslim to begin with. He's either a kafir or munafiq. And we know Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala is not loose with his words. He's from the muhaqqiqeen, from the kibar of the mujaddideen of Ahl Sunnah, upon the ijma of Ahl Sunnah in matters of takfir, and in matters of belief, what are called asma wa ahkam. And he To say this person is a Muslim, this person is a mu'min, this person is a fasiq, this person is a mubtadi, this person is a mushrik, this person is a kafir. And the dawabit, the conditions and the guidelines that are connected to that. It's not loose with this speech. The scholars are very meticulous. And the spoken speech of a scholar goes through the scales of the kitab and the sunnah. And the written speech of a scholar is more edited and it's more well thought out. This is something that he wrote. Think about what he is saying here, how he carefully phrased his statement. This person is not a believer to begin with. This person is not a believer to begin with, because if you approve of something, then the ruling is the ruling of that thing. A person who said there's nothing wrong with being a fag, you would say that person's suspect. Right? You don't think there's nothing wrong with being gay? All right. Okay. Somebody said there's nothing wrong with smoking crack. I mean, I wouldn't smoke it, but you might. Right? So if a person said about shirk and kufr and bid'ah, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't see anything wrong with it. We would say, la tafham, this person doesn't understand Islam aslan, to begin with. This person doesn't have any ta'zeem for the religion. This person takes his religion as a thing of mockery. He takes his religion as an object of mockery. He doesn't take his religion seriously. And so this matter of al-wala wal-bara' and al-aqidah is min asl al-usul. It is from the most fundamentals, from the most fundamental of the fundamentals. It is from the most core of the fundamentals of Islam.